very excited to be here and like speak about Outreachy to all of you. So I can start with an introduction. So everyone, I am Siddhi Agarwal and I am from Patna, Bihar. And currently I am pursuing my integrated MTech and BTech in ABV Triple IT in Gwalior. And it is a 5-year course and I am in my fourth year. I have some experience in Flutter development and in machine learning and deep learning. And as you know that I was an outreach intern with OCaml in this summer, like in the summer of 2024. And we worked on a project which was called OCaml API Watch with the organization OCaml in the Outreachy, like Outreach internship. And today I'll be talking about that. So yeah, excited to be here. So, as Riddhi very well explained what Outreachy is, so let me just give a like she as she said that Outreachy promotes diversity in tech, and it is an organization which is striving to give opportunities to people who can convince that they are underrepresented in the tech industry of where they are living. So the where they are living part is very important here. You can't convince them that you will be underrepresented if you apply to a job in US. So that's not how you can apply to Outreachy by convincing them that you are underrepresented somewhere you're not living. And it provides open source internships. So talking about open source is a model which targets softwares which are free to use. Like a very good example of that would be Linux. You must know, maybe you don't know, but Linux is an operating system and you can get it from the internet and you can use it in your computers. And you can even contribute to Linux. If you want to add a feature to Linux, you can go to the GitHub page of that software and you can add a feature to that by contributing to it yourself. Obviously, you'll have to get it approved by the maintainers of that repo, but still, it is free to use and you can change it as per your wishes. So that is something which is open source. So open source has a community of developers like us. So Outreach basically promotes open source. So that is Outreach, and now I'll be talking about Outreach's application process. Uh, so Outreach basically has two rounds of application, and the first round, which is the initial round, is going to start soon, I think, in the beginning of February. And that round has an application which has some essay questions and a form like structure, and it is to be filled. And the result of that application comes a month later. And from that, if you are selected for that application, and I think around uh, 2000 or 1000 students are selected for that application from all around the world. And if you are selected for that application, on the day you get the email that you are selected, from that day till a month, you have a contribution period where you contribute to open source software, which I was talking about earlier. So, in that contribution period, you have to like contribute to the software, and the projects and the organizations of softwares range from like UX, UI, data science, Android development, web development, and even to non-tech fields like marketing or even event planning. So that is what outreach is. And like in the after the contribution period is over, you have to submit a final project application where you explain what you'll do if you are selected for the internship in a particular project. So you have to give your game plan with the timeline for the 3 months you'll be interning, and you have to explain what you'll do, what you'll add to the project, and why you are suitable for that project, what experience do you have for that project, so that they should select you. And after the contribution period is completed, you have to again wait for a month, and then the results of the like second applications come in, and voila, you are selected for the internship.
That's a quite long process. So can you tell us like anything that would help the person who is applying for the first time that can increase the chances of the application being shortlisted in this amazing program?
So are you talking about the first application or the proposal, project
Both,
proposal?
both.
So for the first application, the selection process totally depends on the answers of the essay questions you give. There are four essay questions, and all of those essay questions are available on the Outreachy website. They are repeated every year, and they're the same questions every year. So you have to write a, I think, 500 word answer for those questions, and you have to convince them that you actually are underrepresented where you live. So you there are some tips given on the website. So some of those tips are like, you have to talk in numbers. You can't say that I am underrepresented in my college. You have to say that there are this percentage of girls in my college, and this is the percentage of girls in my college that are accepted through JE. Like when I wrote my application, I gave a percentage of girls in my college and the percentage of girls which apply to engineering through JE, and the percentage of girls in the industry which are on high positions, and as well as the fresher positions. So those are the things you have to show them to get selected. And also you have to if you give some data like I gave data about the percentage of women at top positions. So if you have to give them the data, you have to quote the source of the data. So add links to the essay, and speak about your personal experiences. It is not necessary that every woman is underrepresented, but you have to convince them that you personally are underrepresented because you have faced discrimination. So speak from your personal experiences. Tell them stories about where you have felt that you are facing bias in this industry.
Nice. I have that would really help them in their application. And Siddhi, can you tell me like what is how many applicants apply in this program and how many got selected? What is the like cutoff and competition?
I don't think there are like numbers which are released for how many apply, but I think around 1 to 2,000 applicants are selected for the first round, and from that number, maximum till now 80 applicants are selected for the actual internships.
LinkedIn being here quite anonymous. Okay, no worries. And it shows that this program is really competitive because it's a global program. Yes, Kushi. Oh my God, questions are coming. It's questioning time, everyone. Just shoot your questions. And so, Siddhi, would you want to take questions by yourself or Riddhi can take the questions for you and
Uh,
you can tell the answers?
yeah, she can take them. I'll answer the questions.
Okay, nice.
All right. So the first question by Khushi is that should we include links directly in the essay?
Yeah, you
Khushi,
can
can you
add.
elaborate on this? Okay.
Uh,
Links.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
if,
the question. Let's skip to other question. Like Khushi, you can elaborate the question in the text. So Jia asked, how did you convince them about bias from your personal experience in your application?
so you can talk about how you had a limited access to learning as a woman, because as girls it is sometimes unsafe for us to travel long distances for going to our coachings or to learn something, or even for a better school which is far away. You have to choose to stay in an environment which is safer. And you can also talk about the patriarchy in India, uh, like how it is rooted in our households, and how what you have faced in your household that you think that it was not it was biased towards you because you're a woman. So that's what you can write about in the internship essay.
Okay, another question from Prachi is that is it an individual participation or a team contribution, sort of?
It is an individual application.
Another question from Samiksha is on what type of project should we genuinely contribute?
So I think that you should contribute to a project you have at least a bit of interest in. Before starting, when you are choosing those projects, you have to choose a project which speaks to you at least a little bit, so that when you start the contributions, you are actually interested in what the project is doing. So when I chose my project, when I went through the list of projects for that year, I realized that they did not have a project in my domain. No, there was not a Flutter project, there was not an ML project in the part of ML that I was working on. So I knew at that time that I'd have to do something completely new to myself. But I chose OCaml because one of my friends was contributing to LFX in Risk 5 project, and they were using OCaml. So they had talked about OCaml and what an old language and what an interesting language it was. So that's why I chose my project. And when I read through the project, I actually did not understand fully what the project was doing. I got a bit of understanding what it was doing. So I was actually interested to know that what the project was doing. And I actually asked the mentors, the description you gave, you said this. So what does that mean? So I think you should choose a project you are actually interested in, so that you can show that interest to the mentors, and they can see that you are actually interested in the project, because at the end they want to choose a person which who wants to work on their project, not someone who is just doing it for the internship.
Thank you, Siddhi, for elaborating. I hope, Samiksha, this would be a right answer for your question. Adyasha, your hand is raised. Do you have any query?
Yeah, I have two actually. So the first thing I want to know, the way we are usually advised for open source contribution events like GSOC, that we should start contributing to organizations prior to the application start, based on our field of interest, or if we're even able to understand the code base of a particular organization, we should start looking for good first issues and everything, and we start contributing. So is there anything similar that is required for Outreachy, or how does it work for Outreachy? Like how it work for you?
So out like you can some of the organizations come almost every year to Outreachy, so you can contribute to them previously to the contribution period. But Outreachy applicants are judged on the contributions they make in that contribution period which is given to them. But what you are saying is beneficial because the mentors would know you, and as humans they are inclined to choose you if you are contributing to the project prior to when the period started. So it would be
Okay.
beneficial if you
Yeah.
decide to do that.
Yeah, like are there any websites like you must be knowing like the way for GSOC, all the organizations that come for these years and these years they're available. We can just go and check out their active projects and all. Are there any similar resources for Outreachy as well?
Yeah, the Outreachy official websites has all the organizations and projects for every cohort it has hosted. Like every
Okay.
project is listed there. You can go there and you can go on past projects, and then you'll see every cohort, and you can select the cohorts and make a list of the organizations which repeat every year.
Uh-huh. Okay, so my second question was, okay, so I am into dev, like I'm learning app dev. I've started learning. I know web dev. I've worked with that and also with UI UX for almost 2 years or more now, and I'm also like learning ML currently. So, of these options, what do you think should I prioritize as a domain more, to enhance my chances of? I mean, ultimately, it's after understanding the code base, of course, or our interest. But I'm interested in this book, so how should I
Just
prioritize
one
on?
second.
Yeah.
Uh,
Nice. In the meantime, everyone just keep the questions coming because we
yeah,
have
I am sorry.
no worries, Siddhi.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was my question. So, like,
okay.
what to prioritize
So
after what?
So it is like very random, like what projects will come to an open source program. We never know. Like for me, I had no project in my domain, and I have noticed that like I followed Outreachy projects for two cohorts, and I noticed that they give projects mostly in system programming, like Linux, Git, these types of organizations come to Outreachy mostly, and the projects are mostly based on system programming like Shell, C++, Bash, and all of these things. And I have noticed that some data science projects are there, and
Mhm.
some of the organizations like I think Wikimedia, they always bring marketing projects, but the
Uh-huh.
applicants in those type of projects are like very very large.
Mhm. Definitely, it has to be. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Vanshika, so you have raised your hand. You may ask your question.
Hello, Siddhi. I'm currently an open source contributor at the Palisadoes organization. I'm preparing for GSOC this year, but I'm also interested in outreach as well. So my question is that as currently I'm working with React and TypeScript, are there any specific projects related to React and TypeScript? As you just told that basically they use C++ and Shell like languages. So like should I continue to just contribute to using TypeScript and React, or should I just switch to learning C++ and Shell and some system design thing?
So the projects in Outreachy or in any program are very unpredictable. You cannot know that whether your tech stack will be there or not. I think in some previous cohorts, some WebD projects for TypeScript and React were there, but you can't say for sure if they will be there in this cohort, and you can't even say that the projects I am talking about will be there. So it's a matter of chance. The If you want to like prepare for it beforehand, the best way would be to like collect those organizations that come every year, and then contribute to them, like contribute to the repos, and like learn the skill of the repos. Even if the projects are not from that particular skill, the maintainers would know you, and that increases your chance of selection.
Thank you so much for answering.
You're welcome.
So moving to questions from chats, Prachi asked, what are the fields in which the open source projects might be?
Okay. So the open source projects can range from any field, like UI UX projects are there. And OCaml is one of the recurring organizations. So OCaml projects are always there. Marketing projects are there for some organizations which come every year. Some organizations like Bioconductor, it brings you some like biologically and biology plus technology projects. So they'll give you some research papers which include some biological phenomena where technology has been applied. So even that kind of projects are there. Uh, Many system design or system programming projects are there from Git, LibreOffice, and some simpler or feature implementation projects are there. The project I worked on was actually a shell project. So it was basically a project idea, and they only had a skeleton code for that project. So we built the project from scratch. So even that kind of projects are there.
Okay, thank you for elaborating so much. Another question from Shubhi is that are there any DSA rounds included in selection process?
No, no, there are no DSA rounds.
Okay, Ishita asked that can you tell us about UI UX projects in Outreachy?
Uh, I am not sure I saw any like recently any project for that, but I think they were there. Yeah, in OCaml there was a project which had to do with the UI of the OCaml's website. So, since I didn't know web development at that time, I did not contribute to that project. But the project basically asks you to make a UI for the OCaml website and improve the UI for the OCaml website and like add some features to it. I think the feature was that add some exercises to that website about OCaml for learning OCaml.
Okay, so Angel Gupta asked, can we stick to one project or can you share extra tips to make our essays highlight?
Uh, for your essay, I think it is enough if you are able to demonstrate through write at least two or three stories in your essays about what actually happened with you, and also include why you need that internship, why it would be helpful to you in not very long paragraphs, but at least add a small paragraph about that, and also add links to your essays. That is very important. And please talk in numbers. And I don't think anything else is needed for it. I think this should be enough to get your essay selected.
Okay, so furthermore questions are basically on the second step of the application. It would be great if you elaborate about it and the project you worked on, your journey, experience, and the workflow.
uh, okay. So, like my journey started when I received the first application acceptance, and at the beginning, I was very overwhelmed by the number of projects they had for that cohort. So, but I had this opportunity almost in my hand, and I did not want to lose it. So I made a plan, and I went through every project they had, and I think there were about 50 to 60 projects, and I went through every one of them. All of the projects will have some skills listed and the level of the skill you should have in that. Like if there is a skill called React, then they will have a number rating that how much React you should know, 1 to 5. So I went through those skills and I found a project that had skills which had a low level so that I could learn that skill and contribute to that project. So I went through every project and I tried to find a project which interests me. So when I saw the OCaml organization, I was instantly reminded of my friend who told me about that. And I saw that there are three projects from OCaml. So all of them had very basic skills attached to them. Like they had GitHub, so I knew GitHub, so I could do that. And they had uh, a skill of about rating of about 2 or 3 to OCaml. So they also gave you resources where to learn it. And I also found a project in Ushahidi. So it had testing and integration. So I liked these projects and I went on their communities. I introduced myself and I asked them that I am very new to this and I want to learn this. So I asked for resources. Where should I learn this? And I think this is one of the most important parts of open source to ask for help because the communities are generally very, very helpful and you can ask them for help with almost anything. And I think that was a very good step in my journey because I got many resources and I could for OCaml they gave me the sites link and the basics were listed on the site. They also gave me a reference of 2 books for OCaml and a YouTube series uh, of tutorials. So I went and I tried to learn those things in 1 or 2 days because Outreachy is highly competitive. So in 1 or 2 days of the contribution period, you should have at least made a contribution or at least have an issue assigned to yourselves because after some time like around 10 days of the contribution period, some projects get closed for contributors. So you'll see when you go to the Outreachy website that some projects which were there in the list, they go down the list and the heading there is closed for contributors or something like that. So now you cannot go there. Even if you like the project, you cannot go there and introduce yourself and start contributing to those projects. So I think time is of the matter. So try to learn the projects and like be ahead. And like when I started contributing to my project, I actually understood very little of my project. So I asked for help about the issues I was assigned. I tried to communicate and try to build a relationship with your mentors because they are the ones who will be selecting you. So they should know that you are actually interested. And I think some of the tips I'll give you is try to be polite in open source communities. They are very helpful communities, but they do not tolerate any kind of violence or bad attitude. So try to be as helpful as you can. Even if you help others, the mentors will notice that. If you know something, if there is some person who is trying to set up the repository and he's not able to, and you know how to solve that problem, try to help them because it is a good attitude and it will be noticed. Yeah, so that's all.
Well, you made quite a progress in tech through Outreachy, I guess.
Yeah.
So, one question from my side, like from which year is the application process actually begin? Which year students can actually apply to this?
Even first year students can apply to this. Like any year is allowed to apply to Outreachy.
Okay, there are further so many queries in the chat messages. I guess so many people are interested to know about Outreachy. So
Uh,
Prachi
also,
asked like,
Also,
yes,
I'd like to add one thing to your question that you should have a like at least I think 2 month period holiday in your calendar to like apply to this. Like they ask for your calendar by through your official institute website. and you should have a 2 month holiday. Otherwise, I think you will be disqualified to apply to this.
All right. Sanika asked like how to select organizations or organizations that specifically fit for web development. I think it's not linked
So
with Outreachy specifically.
yeah, but you'll
Agarwal.
have the projects like in on the projects it will be listed that they need these kind of skills, so you can select from that.
Okay, Vanshika, you've been raising your hand since a while. I've noticed. You can go on with your question.
Yes, thank you, Riddhi. So my question is, I have two questions. First question is that is there any kind of keywords which can help us selecting our essay?
I don't think there are any keywords for essay selection, but yeah, numbers are the keywords.
Okay. And the second question is that in my college, the exams are around August to September. So I won't have any such holiday for 2 months. So are there any chances of disqualifying me for that reason?
So your like I think outreach starts from May to July. So is there any holiday between that period in your college?
Actually, it's not said, but people usually don't come to college around that period. There's no official holiday. Yeah,
Okay.
but students don't come around that period, May to July.
So then I'm not sure that you can apply to it, but you can mail your queries to organizers at the rate outreachy and they'll answer your queries. It is actually, they are very active. So I've always had my queries answered.
Okay, so can you please repeat the email ID? I'll just note it down.
I think it's organizers at the rate outreachy, but you can find the email on their website too. So
Okay,
just check it once.
okay. Thank you.
Sanika, you may go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you for giving me opportunity to ask my question. So, where are these communities are based? So, are they on Discord, and how to find the communities?
Okay. So most of the communities I have seen are on Slack. So do you know Slack?
Yes.
Yeah, so most of them are on Slack, and to find those communities, you have to go to the GitHub repos README file, and there should be a section about contributing or community. So if they have a community, most probably the link will be there. And if not, you can also ask about the community links in your introduction. When you introduce yourself to that repo, you can write that I could not find the community link in the readme file or in this file, but do not ask it if you did not check the file. Please try to check the docs for that repo, because it shows that you are not applying effort to find the community and just want it to hand it over to you.
Okay, and another question is, I'm right now in my final year, so my college ends at the end of May. So, it will be affect on the application as there is a no mention holidays in our calendar.
So do you have to go to college? Your college ends in May, right?
Yeah, I'm in final year right now.
So then it should not be a problem. Do you have a job or internship lined up in May?
Not yet.
Yeah, so it should not be a problem till you do not have anything lined up in May. But you can also mail your query to the email ID I said. But I think it should not be a problem.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Siddhi, you're being quite patient with the questions. That's really great. There are more in the chat. So Dikshita asked, like, can we contribute more than one project, or what are the minimum limit to in contribution?
So I think the minimum limit to submit a proposal was two or three. I don't remember exactly, but two or three. You can submit a proposal to two or three projects, and contributing has no limit. You can contribute to as many projects as you want, but I recommend that you start with two projects, and by around 10 or 20, 15 days, you try to stick to the one project that you think you'll be selected in and which is the most interesting to you, because contributing takes a lot of time, and especially when you don't know the skill prior to the project, then it takes about as much time as you can give to, like, if you divide that time between two or three projects, it becomes lesser, and then the other contributors will start contributing more and they'll be noticed more than you. So I recommend that you start with two projects, but try to stick to one by the end of the contribution period.
All right. Another question is that from Ishita, how do the outreach organizers check the skill level of applicants?
uh, there is no specific test for the skill level. You just have to like contribute to the project, and that only will show your skills to them. And even if you are not skilled, the skill levels are basically just to inform you that they require that. They do not, even if you don't have that skill, it's okay. They will allow you to learn that skill and then contribute to the project. So it's not a necessity, it's just information they give you that these types of skills are required, so that you know that if you want to contribute to that project or not. And there is no such test for your skills, so you can contribute even with an attitude of learning.
Yes. Vanshika, do you have any further questions?
Yes, I wanted to ask that if I get selected for GSOC this year, then the time might like overlap. So will I still be able to like contribute to Outreachy? Like the if
uh,
scenario.
No, I think there actually are some organizations which apply to both Outreachy and GSOC. So
Right.
there actually is a rule in the like clause, eligibility clause or something, that if you are selected for GSOC and Outreachy for an organization, they transfer you to GSOC. Like you would not be given a choice; they'll automatically transfer you to GSOC for that organization. And if you are selected for GSOC and Outreachy, then you'll have to leave one of those.
Okay, I get it now. And if the organizations are different, like if I contribute to other organization in Outreachy and some other organization for GSOC,
Uh,
like still
I
I'll
think
have to choose.
GSOC allows it, but Outreachy doesn't.
Okay, okay,
So
I get it.
Outreachy even asks if you are like working full time, you'll have to leave your job if you want to contribute to Outreachy.
Okay, that's quite sad, but that's rule.
Yeah, that's the rule. Also, like one more thing, if you are selected to GSOC, you can't apply to Outreachy then, like ever.
Okay, I didn't knew about this. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I can't even like apply for this if I get selected to GSOC. I think
yeah,
I can
like
apply.
if you are selected for GSOC and you complete your internship, then you are never like it makes you ineligible for Outreachy ever.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, but I can apply for this application like this month, the next month it's going to open the essay part. I can apply in that.
Yeah, you are not doing GSOC right now, right? Like you
Yeah,
are
right.
applying to GSOC, but you have not been selected.
Yeah, I
Yeah, so
haven't.
you can apply.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so Khushi asked, like, do we need to learn about the projects before the contribution period? Since you mentioned contributing within the initial days of the contribution period.
So the projects are not released until like the contribution period starts. So you can't actually learn about them. You can maybe ask about like the communities which repeat every year. You can go to their pages and ask about their projects. If they want to reveal it, maybe they'll reveal it to you. But you don't know the project until the contribution period starts.
All right, so I guess this is the last question. Is the resume required in outreach?
So when I like submitted a proposal for my project, I think I attached my resume, but it is not at all required. You, if you want, you cannot. You can choose not to attach it.
All right, so Jia asked, like, are the essay questions same every year?
Yeah, the four essay questions are given on the website, and they are same every year. Even you can like pre-prepare them because the initial applications are actually first come first serve. So try to fill them as early as possible.
All right, Manik, do you have any doubt you raised?
Yeah, actually, Siddhi, is there any criteria LinkedIn imposed on all, oh, sorry, outreach imposed that you can't share your application, or if you can sh just share your application so that everybody can get inspired and can prepare their application?
I am not sure about this question. Like, I do not know that.
Okay, so you don't want to take the risk, right?
Yeah, I can't. I don't think it is. It may not be allowed.
Yeah, okay.
But
And if
like, you can ask if you know people, you can ask them to review your essay questions. Even I can review them if someone asks me. I have reviewed some of the applicants' essay questions, so you can do that.
Okay, nice. You can reach out to Siddhi on our LinkedIn if you want to get your applications reviewed.
Thank you for having me. It was a great session.
Thank you so much. And yes, for thank you so much, Siddhi, for coming and for sharing on the insights. We would be happy to have you with us again in future.